The giant ships of the Krazul Imperial Fleet appeared suddenly in Earth's sky. They were massive and dark, blocking the stars as they moved into position around the blue planet. Commander Vrex stood on the bridge of his main ship, looking down at Earth with cold eyes. "Humans are weak," he said to his officers. "Our data shows they are only a Category 3 species. They have basic space travel but no real weapons against us." Vrex was tall and gray-skinned with 4 eyes that blinked in different patterns. He had conquered many worlds before and saw Earth as just another easy victory. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Send down the war beasts to their major cities." The war beasts were the most feared soldiers in the galaxy. Each one stood as tall as 3 men, with thick skin like armor and muscles that could tear apart metal. They could heal quickly from almost any wound. On 17 other planets, they had never lost a single battle. At a small tracking station in Nevada, Navy Lieutenant Adam Clark was the first human to see the alien ships. His heart raced as he watched the radar screen fill with unknown objects. "Sir, we have multiple large contacts in orbit," he reported through the emergency line. "They're not ours, and they're not Russian or Chinese. They appeared out of nowhere." Within hours, strange pods began falling from the ships. They crashed into major cities around the world: New York, London, Tokyo, Moscow, and dozens more. Each pod opened to reveal a war beast ready to begin the invasion. In Seattle, a war beast stepped out of its smoking pod in the middle of downtown. It stood nearly 10 feet tall with dark red skin and claws like knives. Local police officers arrived first and began shooting, but their bullets just bounced off the creature's tough hide. The beast roared, showing rows of sharp teeth, and charged at the police cars. It flipped one vehicle with a single hand and crushed another under its foot. Officer Diane Martinez saw that fighting directly would be suicide. Instead of ordering her team to stand and fight, she made a smart choice. "Fall back," she shouted into her radio. "Set up blockades 3 blocks out. Get civilians moving away from this area now." All across the world, humans were making similar decisions. Instead of panicking, they organized. Instead of fighting hopeless battles, they retreated to regroup and share information. On his ship, Commander Vrex received the first reports with confusion. "The humans aren't reacting properly," his lieutenant said, checking the data again. "They should be running in fear or trying to surrender." "That's impossible," Vrex said, hitting his control panel. "No species has ever lasted more than half a day against our war beasts." But as night fell on Earth, military leaders around the world were already connecting through secure channels. Scientists were studying video footage of the beasts, looking for weaknesses. Soldiers were testing different weapons to see what might work. "They think we're easy prey," said General Howard at the Pentagon, speaking to leaders from 30 countries. "But they've never met humans before. By tomorrow, we'll start showing them exactly what they're dealing with." In the darkness of night, Earth prepared. The Krazul had made a terrible mistake, and soon they would learn just how dangerous humans could be when fighting for their home. 3 days had passed since the war beasts first attacked Earth. The aliens had taken parts of major cities, but humans were fighting back better and better each day. Captain Lisa Wilson of the U.S. Army Rangers made an important discovery while watching video of a battle in Detroit. "Look at this," she said, pointing to her screen. "When the bullets hit near their eyes, they always turn away. Their eyes are weak spots." She tested her idea in the next fight. Her team aimed carefully at a war beast's large yellow eyes. When the bullets hit, the beast roared in pain and covered its face. "Hit it now," Lisa shouted. Her soldiers fired a rocket at the same spot, and for the first time, they took down a war beast completely. Lisa shared this news quickly. Within hours, fighters around the world knew about the eye weakness. This was happening everywhere, people finding small ways to hurt the invaders and sharing what worked. In Ukraine, farmers used their tractors to dig deep holes that trapped war beasts. In Brazil, soldiers found that very loud sounds from modified speakers made the beasts confused. Indian engineers created special chemicals that could burn through the aliens' tough skin. On the main Krauzel ship, Commander Vrex was angry and confused. He slammed his fist on his chair as more bad reports came in. "How are these simple humans causing us so many problems?" he shouted. "They have no space weapons. They should have surrendered by now." The ship's scientist, Dr. Grek, looked nervous as he explained. "Commander, we made a mistake in our study of humans. Unlike other Category 3 species, humans have spent their whole history fighting. They fight nature, animals, and mostly each other. Their planet is hard and dangerous, and it made them strong." Vrex didn't want to hear excuses. "Send more war beasts. Double the attack force." Back on Earth, Major Greg Foster watched a captured video of war beasts attacking a hospital in Chicago. He noticed something important. "They always attack the same way," he told his team. 3 steps forward, swing right arm, then left arm, then charge. Every time. The exact same pattern. Greg used this knowledge to set up a trap. His soldiers put explosives where the beasts would step during their attack pattern. When the next group of aliens attacked, they walked right into the trap. 5 war beasts were destroyed at once. "They're big and strong," Greg told other military leaders during a video meeting. "But they're not smart fighters. They don't change their plans, even when they're losing." All around the world, humans were learning and adapting. Children helped by drawing maps of their neighborhoods, showing where aliens had been seen. Doctors studied alien blood samples to find more weaknesses. Computer experts tried to break into the aliens' communication systems. As the second wave of war beast pods entered Earth's atmosphere, something unexpected happened. Many were shot down by missiles before they could land. Others found humans waiting with traps and new weapons designed specifically to hurt war beasts. On his ship, Vrex watched in shock as the second attack wave failed to take over more territory. "This isn't possible," he whispered. "No species has ever fought back like this." His lieutenant looked worried. "Commander, I think we may have made a serious mistake in attacking this planet." The war beasts were learning a painful lesson. Humans might not have the best technology, but they were the best survivors the galaxy had ever seen. 2 weeks into the invasion, humans were not just surviving. They were fighting back. The war beasts no longer had the advantage of surprise, and people were showing their greatest skill, finding new ways to solve problems. Dr. Kelly Rodriguez worked day and night in a small lab hidden under the ruins of San Diego. She had collected blood and tissue samples from dead war beasts. Under her microscope, she noticed something important. "Their cells react strangely to this radiation," she said, showing her team the results. "It stops them from healing." Kelly's discovery spread quickly through military channels. Within 3 days, factories and underground bunkers were making new bullets containing the special radiation. Soldiers called them beast killer rounds. "Aim for the eyes first to make them blind," the new training guide said. "Then use beast killer rounds on any part of their body. The radiation will prevent healing." Meanwhile, in London, Professor Alan Wright was studying a damaged alien pod. He had taken apart its communication system and connected it to his computer. They used simple patterns for their messages, he told military leaders over a secure video call. "We can block their signals, maybe even send fake orders to confuse them." The Krauzel couldn't understand what was happening. None of their previous invasions had gone like this. "The humans learned too quickly," a Krauzel officer told Commander Vrex. "They find our weaknesses and share information faster than we can change our plans." The most frustrating part for the aliens was that humans fought differently in each place. In Russia, they used the cold weather to freeze war beasts. In desert regions, they trapped them in sand pits. In cities, they used the buildings as tools for ambushes. Vrex ordered all war beasts to pull back and regroup. "We need new plans," he said. "These humans are not like other species we conquered." This break in fighting gave Earth forces time to prepare their first major attack. Colonel Patricia Daniels led a special team of soldiers to take back the city of Denver. They used the new beast killer bullets and smart tactics that took advantage of the aliens' poor sight vision. They can only see well directly in front of them, Patricia told her soldiers. So we attack from the sides and behind. Her plan worked perfectly. The team moved through Denver silently, taking down war beasts one by one. They freed hundreds of trapped civilians and captured important alien equipment. Similar victories happened around the world. Humans had studied the enemy, found weaknesses, and created ways to fight back. The supposedly unstoppable war beasts were being defeated by the very species they had come to conquer. On the main ship, Vrex watched the battles with growing fear. In just 2 weeks, humans had done what no other species had managed in years of fighting. They had turned the Krozl's strengths into weaknesses. They don't fight like normal beings, Vrex said quietly. They should have given up by now. His science officer looked at the latest reports. Commander, I think we may have made a serious error. These humans might be the most dangerous species we've ever encountered. As night fell over Earth, lights in hidden factories and labs stayed on. Scientists and engineers worked together, taking apart alien technology and improving it. Soldiers trained with new weapons and tactics, and for the first time since the invasion began, people started to believe they might actually win this war. The Krozl had awakened something dangerous: human ingenuity and determination. 1 month after the aliens first appeared, humans were no longer just defending. They were attacking. Countries that had fought each other for centuries now worked together against the common enemy. Soldiers from Russia fought alongside Americans. Chinese scientists shared discoveries with European engineers. The world had united. General Frank Harris stood before a group of military leaders from 20 countries in a bunker deep under the Rocky Mountains. On a large screen behind him was an image of a war beast with certain parts highlighted. "We've made an important discovery," he said, pointing to the screen. "The war beasts are controlled like a hive. Each group has one leader, an alpha beast that gets orders directly from the alien ships. If we take out the alpha, the other beasts become confused." The room filled with excited talking. "This could change everything." "How do we know which one is the alpha?" asked a Brazilian general. Frank showed them close-up photos. "The alpha has different markings on its neck, and it stays back, directing the others instead of fighting directly." The Earth Defense Council quickly made a plan called Operation Decapitation. They would attack all known alpha beasts at the same time in 12 locations around the world. Navy SEAL John Martinez led the team assigned to kill the North American alpha. Intelligence reports showed it was hiding in what used to be Seattle's Space Needle. "Listen up," John told his team of soldiers from the US, Canada, and Mexico. "The alpha has a special nerve center at the base of its skull. One shot with our radiation bullets should cut off its connection to the other beasts." The attack began at midnight. John's team moved silently through the ruins of Seattle, avoiding regular war beast patrols. When they reached the Space Needle, they saw the alpha giving orders to a group of smaller beasts. "It's bigger than the others," whispered John's radio operator. "At least 4 meters tall." John lined up his shot carefully. The special rifle was heavy, but his hands were steady. He took a deep breath, then pulled the trigger. The radiation bullet hit perfectly at the base of the alpha's skull. The massive creature roared, then fell to the ground. Immediately, the other war beasts began acting strangely. Some froze in place. Others walked in circles or started fighting each other. "Alpha down," John reported. "The others are confused, just like we hoped." Across the world, similar reports came in. Operation Decapitation was a complete success. Within hours, war beast forces everywhere were in chaos. On his flagship, Commander Vrex watched in horror as his carefully planned invasion fell apart. "How did they discover the control system?" he shouted. "No species has ever figured that out so quickly." But humans had done more than just figure it out. They had improved on it. In Mexico City, Professor Susan Rivera and her team had captured a small war beast. They studied its brain and found a way to control it. The captured beast, which soldiers nicknamed Buddy, now followed human commands. It provided valuable information about alien biology and technology. Colonel Eric Johnson spent hours questioning the controlled beast. Their entire way of fighting is based on being stronger and scarier than everyone else. He explained to military leaders. They don't know how to adapt during battle. They've never needed to before. As Earth forces prepared to take the fight to the alien ships in orbit, the mood had changed. 1 month ago, people had been terrified. Now they were confident and determined. The Krasl had never felt fear before. They had always been the ones causing fear in others. But as they watched humans systematically take apart their invasion force, they began to understand what it felt like to be afraid. 2 months after the invasion began, human scientists and engineers had done something amazing. They had taken apart alien technology from crashed pods and captured war beasts, figured out how it worked, and made it better. Dr. Nicole Garcia led a team of scientists working in an old underground MIT lab. The room was filled with alien parts connected to human computers. Nicole picked up a small silver device that glowed with blue light. This is their engine technology, she explained to visiting military leaders. It's actually not as advanced as we thought. We had theories about similar engines decades ago, but never built them. Nicole pointed to a modified version her team had created. Theirs is reliable but inefficient. Ours is 30% more powerful and uses less energy. The military had used this knowledge to build something that could change the war, a fighter ship using modified alien technology. It was smaller and faster than the alien vessels, with weapons designed specifically to damage Krasl ships. Captain Ryan Nelson, an Air Force pilot who had shot down 3 alien dropships, was chosen to test the new fighter. He climbed into the strange cockpit, which had both human and alien controls. "It feels different," he said as he took the fighter up for its first flight. "The controls respond to the lightest touch." Ryan pushed the ship to its limits, flying faster than any human craft had ever gone. When he landed, his face was lit with excitement. "It flies like nothing I've ever felt," he told his commanders. "Once you understand how it thinks, it almost reads your mind." On the Krasl flagship, Commander Vrex faced serious problems. His officers were angry about the failed invasion. "You told High Command this would be easy," shouted his second-in-command. "Now we've lost half our war beasts to these primitives." Vrex knew he needed a big victory. He ordered his ships to use their orbital weapons to destroy Earth's military bases. Surely humans couldn't stop an attack from space. But Earth had been preparing for this. When the Krasl ships moved into position, they faced a surprise. From hidden bases around the world, dozens of the new human-modified fighters launched into space. Captain Ryan Nelson led the group, called Phoenix Squadron. "Remember your training," he told the other pilots. "They're bigger, but we're smarter. Use the patterns we practiced." The human fighters flew in ways the Krasl had never seen. Instead of attacking head-on, they came from multiple directions at once. Some fighters deliberately flew into the aliens' weapon range to draw fire, then veered away at the last second, while others attacked from behind. "They're not fighting logically," a confused Krasl weapons officer told Vrex. "They're taking risks no sensible species would take." The humans targeted specific parts of the alien ships: communication arrays, weapon ports, and sensor systems, instead of trying to destroy the massive vessels outright. On Earth, Chief Engineer Maria Watson watched the battle through powerful telescopes. She had studied the alien ships and found their weakness. The Krasl rely too much on their computers, she explained to her team. Their battle systems follow the same patterns every time. Once you know the pattern, you can beat it. Phoenix Squadron damaged 5 major Krasl ships before returning to Earth. It was humanity's first victory in space, but not the last. As the fighters landed to cheering crowds, Captain Nelson knew they had proven something important. "They thought we couldn't fight them in space," he said, Now they know better. The next phase of the plan was even bolder. Earth forces would take the fight directly onto the alien ships themselves. 3 months after the invasion started, humans were ready for their boldest move yet. They called it Operation Trojan, a plan to capture the main Krazel ship. Colonel William Peters stood before his special team in a secret underground base. The soldiers came from many countries: American Navy SEALs, British SAS, Russian Spetsnaz, and Chinese Special Forces. All were the best fighters Earth had. "We've learned a lot about the aliens," Williams said, showing them a 3D map of the Krazel flagship. "They depend completely on their war beasts to fight for them. The Krazel themselves have thin arms, weak muscles, and no fighting skills." The soldiers looked at each other with growing smiles. This was good news. "They're like people who have bodyguards their whole lives," William continued. "They never learn to throw a punch. Our captured war beast told us the Krazel haven't fought their own battles in over 500 years. Lieutenant Olivia Johnson stepped forward. She was young but brilliant, a computer expert who had helped crack the alien communication codes. "Their computer systems are built around strict rules," she explained. "Everything needs proper authorization from higher ranks. Once we capture command codes from their leaders, we can control their whole system." The team would use 3 modified alien shuttles captured in earlier battles. Phoenix Squadron would attack the Krazel fleet as a distraction, drawing away their fighters. Then the shuttles would slip through to the flagship. The day of the attack came. Inside the lead shuttle, Colonel Peters checked his weapon one last time. The shuttle shook as it left Earth's atmosphere. "Remember," he told his team, "hit fast and hard. They won't expect humans to board their ships. The surprise is our best weapon." In space above Earth, Phoenix Squadron engaged the Krazel fighters in a wild battle. Captain Ryan Nelson flew his fighter directly at the flagship, drawing enemy ships away from the area where the shuttles would approach. "Come get me, you ugly monsters," Ryan said as he twisted his ship through impossible turns, leading the aliens on a chase. The shuttles reached the flagship undetected. They attached to emergency airlocks on the ship's lower hull. Special cutting tools opened the doors, and Earth's soldiers poured inside. The Krazel were completely unprepared. They had never imagined humans could reach their ships, let alone board them. The aliens panicked, running from the invading humans or freezing in fear. Colonel Peters led his team straight toward the command center. They met little resistance. The few Krazel who tried to fight were quickly overpowered by humans who had been fighting their whole lives. "They're physically weaker than human children," one soldier reported with surprise. Olivia's tech team found a computer terminal. "I'm in their system," she said after a few minutes of work. "Their security is advanced but inflexible. It doesn't adapt to new threats." When they reached the command center, they found Commander Vrex trying to organize a defense. The alien leader stared in shock as humans burst through the doors. "Impossible," Vrex said, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly. "You were supposed to be Category 3. Primitive. Weak." Colonel Peters stepped forward. "You categorized us wrong. That was your mistake." With the command center secured, Lieutenant Olivia executed the key part of the plan. She sent official-looking surrender orders to all Krazel ships, using their own authentication codes. Across Earth's orbit, alien captains received what they thought were legitimate orders to power down weapons. Before they realized the deception, human teams had boarded and captured 5 more Krazel ships. The remaining alien vessels, seeing their command structure fall apart, retreated to the edge of the solar system. For the first time ever, the mighty Krazel Empire had not only failed to conquer a planet, they had lost their own ships to the supposedly primitive species they had come to enslave. Earth had won. 6 months after the Krazel invasion, Earth had changed in amazing ways. Humans had taken alien technology and made it better. New machines and inventions appeared every day. Things that might have taken centuries to develop were now reality. The first human spaceship built for travel between stars was ready. It was called the ESS Unity, and it was a beautiful mix of Earth and alien design. Captain Laura Bennett stood on the bridge, looking at her crew from countries all around the world. "Today we make history," she said. "We will take our message to the Galactic Council. We will tell them what happened here, and make sure it never happens again." The Unity's mission was clear. Earth's leaders had created a new group called the Earth Diplomatic Corps. Ambassador Daniel White would lead the mission to speak with the aliens who ruled most of the galaxy. "We don't want revenge," Daniel told reporters before leaving. "We want peace, but we also want respect and protection from any future attacks." Commander Vrex, now a prisoner on Earth, was brought to see the ship before it launched. The alien leader had learned much about humans during his captivity. "You should be careful," he warned Laura and Daniel. "The Galactic Council has never met a species like yours before. They put all living beings into simple categories. You don't fit in any category they know." The ESS Unity traveled through space faster than any Krozl ship could go. Humans had improved the alien engine design to make it twice as efficient. When they arrived at the massive space station where the Galactic Council met, the alien representatives were shocked. Representatives from 37 space-traveling civilizations watched in surprise as humans walked into their great council chamber. According to their records, Earth was years away from developing such technology. Ambassador Daniel stepped forward to address the council. His voice was calm but firm as he showed evidence of the Krozl attack and explained how humans had defended themselves. "We come in peace," he said at the end. "Earth asks to be recognized by the Galactic Council. We want treaties promising no more attacks on our world." The council room erupted with noise. Some aliens shouted that humans were dangerous and should be contained. Others were impressed by Earth's quick mastery of advanced technology. The oldest council member, a tall being with glowing blue skin, finally restored order. "In my 1,000 years serving this council, I have never seen anything like this," the ancient alien said. "Humans have shown us that our system of categorizing species is wrong." After much debate, the council voted to recognize Earth officially. They also placed strict punishments on the Krozl Empire for attacking Earth without permission. As the human delegation prepared to return home, Captain Bennett received messages from many alien species. They all wanted to visit Earth, trade with humans, and learn from them. "We seem to have made new friends," she told Ambassador Daniel. "We taught them all something important," he replied. "Never underestimate a species that has spent its entire history learning to survive against the odds." Back on Earth, the captured alien ships and technology had given humans a head start of hundreds of years. Scientists were already designing better ships, medicine, and energy systems. Schools taught children about the many alien civilizations they might one day visit. The war beasts, once the most feared soldiers in the galaxy, were now just a memory. Some had been kept in special zoos so people could see the creatures that had nearly conquered Earth. Others had been studied to help create better medicines and materials. The Krozl invasion, meant to be an easy victory, had instead introduced the galaxy to its newest and perhaps most important member, humanity. As the ESS Unity returned to Earth with news of their diplomatic success, one thing was clear to everyone in the galaxy. The biggest mistake anyone could make was underestimating humans.